So I can't tell how you fixtured this thing.
Yeah, so the fixturing on this project was pretty unique. We had a lot of help from 5th Axis work holding. So actually, if you look at the screen here, my first setup, we had this big 5th Axis rock lock riser where we mounted it right to the machine platter. And for Op 1, we just prepped our raw stock with the 8 rock lock pull studs, dropped it on there, locked it on, and machined the whole first side of the part. Basically the first side being just this big cavity, right? So we get in here and we added a piece of geometry for a subplate for setup 2. And I actually went and 3D printed the second fixture plate here. So this is our custom work holding for setup number 2. So this is a rock lock subplate, just a smaller one. This is made to mount with the 4 rock lock pull studs. Those locate right into that very same rock lock base. That base stayed in the machine from start to end. Plop this thing on here, and essentially we just load our part, and that's it.
So how did you tighten the rock lock?
Well, I was able to line up the hole in the model with the rock lock clamping screw. So you can see it's lined up perfectly. You can get in there with a wrench and tighten that down. So basically it's 2 screws, right? So you have this screw and then the screw underneath the chin to lock everything down, and you're ready to go. That's all there is 2 screws the operator interacts with to get this whole second setup done.
Now that can't be as rigid as the first setup.
Surprisingly, I think it was. So right, the first setup has 8 pull studs holding that thing down, and here we have a whole assembly, right? But if we look at this second setup, the raw stock going into the second setup looks like this. There's a lot of material that's got to come off over here, and it's all supported by this little fixture. But if you look at this roughing tool path, this roughing tool path is a 40mm Amugi shell mill that has the exact same parameters as our Op 1 heavy roughing tool path. So this thing worked out really well. This fixture was outstanding. All thanks to 5th Axis for such a really cool piece of work holding, really easy for the operator to interact with, and it was a perfect success.